Okay, so today we are going to start with Java class. So anyone who starts learning Java, the big question is what is a Java class and what is an object? Because everything that we write, everything we code in Java is in a class. So whatever you write, whatever the functionality you implement, that has to be implemented in a Java class. Okay. Consider a building plan. So the plan says all about how the building should be, like the area of the building, dimensions, height, number of rooms in the building, dimensions of each building. Okay, it says everything about the building. It's not building plan, it's just a building plan. It's not actual building, but the buildings that are going to be constructed using that building plan has to adhere to the rules present in that building plan. Okay, so here the building plan refers to the class in Java, and the actual building which is constructed using that building plan is called object. So this time I am not going to create a main method in it. We'll explain why I am not creating. Okay. So if we pick the analogy that I discussed, that is building plan is nothing but class in Java. A building is nothing but the object. Okay, so the building has the physical existence but not the building plan, it's just on paper. Let me give another analogy. We have the word human being. So when we say human being, it basically defines a human. Like let's start with he should have eyes, ears, nose, mouth, etc. Then the functions he can do, like talk, walk, think, okay, sleep, eat, etc. These are all the functions he can do. Okay, these are all the functions that he can do, and these are his properties or attributes. So when we say human being, he has all these properties and he can do all these actions. Okay, if we compare this with our Java class, human being is the class which defines how a human being should be and the properties of human being. And if you take actual human, so I'll take Mahendra, who is listening to this class. He is actually the object. He has physical existence. He has all these properties and he can do all the actions specified here. Okay, so theoretically this is what a Java class is and what a Java object. So Java class is just on paper, or it's a template, or it's a blueprint, whereas object is the instance of the class. Object has physical existence, so it has some memory allocated to it in RAM when the program is executing, but class doesn't have any memory allocated to it. Okay, so class is a template or a blueprint. Object is instance of class, has physical existence in memory. Okay, so if you create a class and if you do not create object of that class, there is no point creating class in Java. If you want to do some actions using the class, always create object of that class. Using that object, you do whatever the actions you want to do. Okay. So what is a class? What is the object? We discussed it. Elements of class. A class has variables, methods, and constructors. We'll go through it. First, I'll create a sample class. Okay. So here, the name of the class itself is class and objects. What I'll do, I'll create. Okay, sorry, I did not create the package for it. Let me create the package. See, package names always should be in smaller letters. That means they should be in lowercase. Ramu?
Sidhu.
ఉండు నీ కాల్కి యాడ్ చేస్తాను, వెయిట్. One second guys, I need to add someone to the call. Okay, Ramu? Okay, you are on the call, right? So disable video, just be on voice call.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we are discussing about class and objects. So what I will do, in this package class and objects, I am going to create a new class with the name okay, triangle. The name of my class is triangle. Okay, now what are the attributes the triangle can have? It can have length, it can have breadth. Okay, and using length and breadth, what we can do, we can calculate area. So what I'll do, I'll just print out, I'll take another variable called int area equal to length into breadth by 2. Area of a triangle equal to length into breadth by 2. Okay, now I'll print area. So basically what this method is doing, using the member variables, it calculating area and printing that value. So these are called member variables. and this is called member method. So basically the variables and methods are members of class, so that's why they are called member variables and member methods. So now onwards I'll call them variables and methods. Okay, so now I want to run this. Sorry,
to see your desktop మనకేమైనా ఫెసిలిటీ ఉందా?
oh, 1 second, I'll share the join me link. Ramu?
ఓకే.
Okay. Okay?
Yeah.
So methods act on member variables to do some functionality. So here the functionality achieved using this method is we are calculating the area of that triangle using its length and breadth. Now I want to run this. If I right click, I go to run as. So there is no run as Java application. I'll go to the previous example which has a main method, public static void main. Here you see this run as Java application, but the class that I created, you don't see run as Java application. That means you cannot run this method directly. So because why you cannot run? Because there is no main method. So you can run a Java program if there is main method. If there is no main method, you cannot run. So what I'll do, so here is a second class in this package. The name is public class and objects. I'll create a main method in it. Okay, so now I can run because there is main method in it. Okay, sorry. Okay, let me delete this and because I dragged and dropped it here, right? So it's throwing some error. I'll create new class and objects examples, and I'll create main method in it. In it I'll print something. Okay, if I run it, this will run. Why it did not run previously? Because there was no this thing, package, class and objects. Okay, so you remember I created that class directly under source earlier, then dragged and dropped it under class and objects package. Then because of that action, this went off. So if that is not there, it threw error. Now everything is perfect. There is the package to which this class belongs, so class and objects. Okay, now I run it, it's running properly. Okay, so now it's time to use the triangle class that I have created. So as I said, if you want to make use of class, the only way to do that is create object. Okay, so now I'll create object. How to create object? New okay, this is how you create an object named triangle object of triangle class. So I'll explain about this line in detail in this class. Okay, for now I'll just want to walk you through an example of creating class and objects. Okay, now I have created. It's time to call the methods present in it. Dot, what was the method I created in it? Calculate area. So if I want to use this method, how to if I want to call that method, I have to call it using this. First object dot that method. This is how I need to call that method. Before that, we created length, we created breadth, but we did not give any values to it. What I am doing, I am initializing length and breadth variables with values. Okay, now I'll run this. Okay, first it printed this line. Okay, then it created the object of triangle class. Then it called calculate area method present in that class. The formula is length into breadth by 2. So length equal to 10 into 12 by 2, that is 60. It just printed that value. Okay, this is a simple example on how to create object. So now you know what are variables and what are methods. I can have multiple methods in it. Okay, for now we'll go with this. Constructors. Constructors, I'll discuss about this in this class only at later stage. For now, let's skip to next. So sample class with variables and method that I have created just now and showed to you. Creating object of the class. Okay. So there are 3 steps involved in creating object of a class. It's declaration, instantiation, initialization. Okay, if I come back to this step, so there are 3 steps involved in creating an object. So declaration. First declare triangle object. So I am commenting out this line. Okay, so first I declared a triangle object. I just declared that this triangle object belongs to triangle class. Next, instantiation. So this new keyword is used for instantiation. That means when I say new triangle, it actually creates an object of triangle class. So new GLE, new triangle. Okay, this actually creates a new triangle object that is also called as instantiation. జయపాల్
సిద్ధు
జాయిన్ అయ్యావు కదా?
జాయిన్ అయ్యారా?
ఓకే, ఇప్పుడే జాయిన్ అయ్యావా, ఫస్ట్ నుంచి ఉన్నావా? ఓకే, సో దిస్ న్యూ ట్రయాంగిల్ యాక్చువల్లీ creating a new object. Okay, this is called instantiation. And initialization. So initialization means the variable that I declared here, that has to be assigned with some value. Okay, so now I'll remove this line because here I am doing it. Okay, so this is called declaration, this is called instantiation, and once this actually creates a new object, that created object is assigned to this triangle object variable. okay, or this variable object. Okay, so now here, instead of doing it in 2 lines, we can directly do it in 1 line. This is how we do it. Here I declared a variable. This is how I instantiated it. Once I instantiated, we know that new object gets created. That means some memory is allocated to that object. Assign that object to this variable. Okay, got this? Okay, this is about declaration, instantiation and initialization of a Java object. Next, Java member variables. Okay, so if I go back to the class, don't get confused. This class and objects, this class I am using only to create objects and call the objects, methods in the object, and this is actual class. Okay, so for now just think that since there is public void main method in this class, this is where the actual program execution starts. Okay, so this program creates a triangle object, then it creates calculate area method, but this is the actual class that we are discussing. Okay, so next thing is, what are member variables? So what are member variables? Length and breadth in this class are member variables. Okay, very straightforward. Declaring member variables. How we declare? Similarly, how we declare variables. When we discussed about primitive data types, this is how we used to declare it. Int length equal to 10. What does that mean? I am creating a variable whose name is length, whose data type is integer, and initializing that variable with the value of 10. That means I am giving 10 to a value of 10 to this variable. Okay, so this is very straightforward. Okay, initializing member variables. There are 2 ways of doing it: direct initialization and using constructors. So this is called direct initialization, and second one is using constructors. This also I'll discuss in this class at the later stage. For now, let us skip this. So here direct initialization means, as soon as I create a variable, I am assigning value directly to it. Okay, so you will find the difference when I discuss this also. Okay, for now, direct initialization means this. Now, accessing member variables. Okay, here what I am doing, so I have created a triangle object. How I access the method? Just the variable dot method name. Okay, so if I want to access this variable of this class, how I can do is, so when I say I want to access that variable, that means I want to access variable of that class from outside the class, not within the class. Okay, see, this is the variable. This method is within the class. It can directly use it by simply using the name of that variable. But When you want to access that variable from outside the class, how we do is, you copy that, see, length and breadth. I'll give length. Okay, what I'll do, okay, similarly I will access the other variable also. If I run this, so this is the output. So it started first line, printed first line, then it created the object, okay, created the object, it accessed the value of length, that is 10, it printed that value. Again it accessed breadth, that is 12, it printed that value. Then it called calculate area method, so this printed 60. So to differentiate, I'll do this. So why this is throwing error? Because I need to use concatenation here using plus. Okay, it printed everything. First starting execution, created object, then it printed length, breadth, 60. Okay, so this is one way of accessing the variables of a class from outside the class. There is a second way. Second way is, what I will do, I will create, since these are integer, int get length. Don't worry, this is a method. In this class I am going to discuss about methods too. Okay, so what I did, for this length variable, I have created two methods. One is set length, where when I call this method set length with some parameter, that value present in the parameter will get assigned to this length. So we are basically overwriting the value of length to this value. So initial value of length is 10. When I call this method from outside this class with some value as the parameter, then that parameter value will overwrite the existing length value. Okay, and there is another method, get length. It simply returns length value. Okay, what is the current length? Okay, I'll show one example. here so I have the object dot breadth equal to 30. Okay, then triangle object dot length. Instead of using that length, I'll use the method which I created to change the value. We'll change the value to 40. Okay, now I'll print the values. Okay, let me run this. Okay, so initial values are 10 and 12 because we initially set the values of length and breadth to 10 and 12. Okay, so after values, here I am setting breadth value to 30. So in fact I am overwriting breadth value with 30. So initially the breadth was 12. Now from this is called calling program. Okay, and this is the class. So from the calling program I change the value of breadth to 30. Okay, similarly for length I can do this in two ways. Dot length equal to 40. Okay, both the things result in same action. Here I am using a method that I created to change the value of length. So internally it is also doing the same. It's just taking that value, setting that value to length. Okay, so both the things are same. Just to show you that both things are same, I type this line. Okay, both are same. Now the values got changed to 30 into 40 into 30. Now in calculate area, it's again calculating the value length into breadth. You know the length got updated from 10 to 30 and breadth got updated to 40 from 12. So it works on updated values. So the value is 600. 30 into 40, 1200 by 2 equal to 600. Okay, this is how you can do. So generally the preferable way of doing it is through getters and setters. Okay, instead of directly accessing variables, you create getters and setters methods for those variables. Okay, using that variables you access them. You either get the value or set the value to them. Okay, so in fact there is one automatic way of creating getters and setters for all the variables. Right click on your Java class, I mean in somewhere in this class there is source, there is generate getters and setters. See, there are two variables, but it's only showing only one variable because that I have already created getters and setters for length. So only variable that is left without getters and setters is breadth. So it is showing me only one. What I will do, I will cancel this. I will comment this out. Okay, so I'll comment this out. Now I'll try to generate getters and setters. Go to source, generate getters and setters. Now it's showing me two variables. Now I select all, just simply click OK. So program automatically generated, Eclipse automatically generated getters and setters for you. So generally in our tests or in our code, sometimes we tend to have somewhere around 20 to 30 variables. Okay, so if you want to create getters and setters for all of them manually, that is very tough. So this feature comes into use in this case. Okay. So okay, now I have created getters and setters for both length and breadth. We'll go and access them again. So okay, what I will do to put everything in one example, here I will use so here directly accessing by calling the variable name. I am okay. So here I want to calculate area with these values also. Now I'll updated values using getters and setters. Okay, here I will set dot. I want to set length to 300. Similarly, dot set breadth to 400. Now I want to calculate area with the updated values. Okay. Set length, set dot set length, create method set length in type triangle. Okay. Okay. So actually they have to be declared public. Okay. For now I'll go ahead with public ahead for each method. So because there is a separate session when we discussed about OOPS where we discussed about public, private and all those stuff. Right now we'll just go ahead with that public keyword. Okay, that means it can be accessed from everywhere. That means now I am running this program. Okay, first starting execution, it got printed. Now initial values, there were 10 and 12 which I used while creating the variables. Then updated values using direct access. Okay, so what I will do after updating, I need to print them also, right? Length equal to that one. Okay, calculate area, updating values, here I'll use dot get length dot get breadth. Okay, so initially there are 10, 12. Now here using this technique with directly accessing the variables, I updated the values to 30 and 40. So with these values calculated area was 600. Now I updated the values using getters and setters. Okay, now with these values, see, set length, set breadth. That means I am actually setting the value of length to 300, setting the value of breadth to 400, printing the values. So it gave me 300 and 400. I am calculating with the updated values. 400 into 300 equal to 12,000, 1,20,000 by 2 equal to 60,000, and execution completed. Okay, hope everyone understood. So getters and setters are simply methods to get and set the values of variables present in a class. Okay, so we discussed about accessing member variables. First thing is you have to use object dot. Okay, then there are two ways: direct access and getters and setters. In direct access, you directly use object dot the variable name. In getters and setters, you use object dot get or set whatever method you want. Okay, next, Java methods. So what I'll do, I'll change the name. Okay, so this is the name of the class. Now I'll see now since I change the name to something else, you can change the class of the name after you create a class. Okay, so since I change the name, it's throwing error because this triangle class doesn't exist. So what we need to do is we need to change the class name. Okay, now it doesn't throw any errors. If you run, it gives all the values. Okay, new class. Okay, here also what I am doing, I just created a class without any main method in it. Okay, once we create variables and methods in this class, we call them from other program or other class which has main method. Okay, that is called calling program. Okay, what are methods? So if you take this example, this class example, so these are all called methods. Methods are basically a block of code which executes some logic which may act on the member variables. Okay, so they act on member variables, execute some logic, return or may not return values. Basically the methods are used to reduce code duplication. Okay, suppose if you want to execute some logic in many places, if you create a single method with that logic, every time you just call that method, you don't need to write the same 10 lines of code every time. Okay, this increases code maintainability, because if you that particular logic, if you want to change in future, if you want to update the logic, you just go and update in that single method. If that is not the case, you have to go to the 10 places where the same logic was used. You have to edit everywhere. Okay, method syntax. So if I take this method or any method, okay, for now just ignore about this public. Okay, if I ignore this public, all that I have is int get length, void set length, int get breadth, void set breadth, void calculate area. Okay, so If I take this example, set length is the name of the method, and the values inside these brackets or parentheses is nothing but the parameter. This parameter, the name of this parameter is length, and its data type is integer. That means you can pass only integer values to this method. And void, this is return type. Void means if it doesn't return anything, that is void. If it returns any particular data type, then we need to mention that data type. Take this example, int breadth, because the get breadth, the name itself says we want to get the breadth. So this method should return breadth. Since breadth is of integer type, the method's return type is integer. Okay. Okay. I will create a int a equal to 3, int b equal to 5. So I will take the same example, length. Okay. Suppose there is a method print area. Okay. Value says print then half into length into breadth by 2. Here we need to specify the return type. It's mandatory, so you should not leave that blank. Okay. Since I am just printing, I am not returning any value, I am putting it as void print area. Create another method where I will first calculate int area equal to breadth by 2 and return the value of area. Okay. So area is of type integer, so this method's return type is integer. Okay. Suppose okay, this is sufficient to explain the method syntax. So this is the name, this is return type. We'll create another method which actually takes here I will take int length or comma int breadth. Okay. I'll calculate area with the same formula. I want to use these variables, not these variables. Okay. Return area. Okay. Since this is written area of type integer, I need to specify it as int. Okay. So this is with a void return type, that means it doesn't return anything. This returns int. Okay. And these two are without any parameters. This returns int and it also takes parameters. Let us call this from another class. So what I'll do, I'll arrange them properly. Learn about variables. We'll change the name of these two. Okay. Since I changed the okay. Why it's not importing? Learn about variables here. This calling program. Learn about variables. It's not importing. Okay. So I reverted back the changes. We'll make the changes later. Somehow it's not importing that after changing the name. Okay. Method example class. Now I'll create a new class. Method examples calling program. Okay. This will have main method. Okay. So basically I'm trying to organize the classes so that in later stages when you want to go through these examples, you will have them. Okay, the names are meaningful so that you can understand. Okay, so I created a method examples class. Now I want to call or create a object, do some actions on this class. So for that I have created method examples calling program which has main method. Okay, in it I am creating the variable, the object plus some m1, okay, equal to new. Now what I'll do, m1 dot breadth length calculate area. Okay, okay, first thing is let me call this print area dot print area. So this print area method, it doesn't have any parameters, so no need to pass the parameter when you call that. I will see print area 7 because 5 into 13 equal to 15 by 2 equal to 7.5. Since we took integer variable type, it printed 7. Okay, so it actually rounded up to nearest integer. To avoid confusion, let us make it 6. Or if you change the value of int to double, it will print 7.5 properly. Okay, 9, that is 6 into 3, 18 by 2 equal to 9. Now I want to call the second method dot, what is the second method? Get area dot get area. See, this method returns integer value. You see this, right? So get area. So since it is returning integer value, I need to capture that value, put that in a variable. Okay, now I will print that out. So what is third method? m1 dot get area. It also returns integer value. I will capture that in another variable, int area 1 equal to m1 dot get area. Why it's throwing error? Sorry, calculate area. What is the name of this one? This is calculate area.
Calculate.
Okay, so for calculate area, we need to pass two parameters. What if I don't pass anything? It throws error. Say this method calculate area is not applicable for arguments. This, so it's not applicable for empty arguments. Okay, you need to add arguments to match calculate area, int and int. You need to add two parameters or arguments to this method. Okay, what I will do, here I gave 6 and 3, right? Here I'll pass some 60, 30. I will print that. Let's see what happens. Okay, first method, it simply printed. Within the method itself, it printed. Okay, see, since this print area is not returning any value, this is void. I did not capture that value anywhere. Okay, I simply called that. Within that, there is a system out println statement which actually inside that calculated area is printing out. So this printed the value of 9. Okay, now second method, here I call m1 dot get area. So this get area is returning int value, return area. Okay, so what I did, I captured that value into integer variable. I did sys out of that area here. In the third method, it actually takes two parameters. See, it's not acting on these variables. It's acting on the variables that are passed from the calling program. Okay, see, in this method, this is method body, right? In this method, I am nowhere using length and breadth. I am using length and breadth. Okay, len and bre, which are actually passed from here. Let's see what happens. So So this calculated 30 into 60 equal to 1800 by 2 equal to 900. That's how it printed 900. Okay, this is how we need to declare methods, give a return type to it, have body. Okay, this is how methods are used in Java. Suppose if a function is of return type integer and if I don't return anything, it immediately throws error because add return statement, because add return statement, as you mentioned that it returns integer value. Okay, we need to add return statement. Okay, suppose if I change a return type to some double, no, I'll say return type to the string. Okay, so here it's throwing error because I am telling that this method returns string, but I am actually returning integer. So it immediately throws error. We need to take care of these things. So this is about name of the method, return type of the method, parameters of the method, method body. Okay, accessing methods of a class. How do you access? Simply object dot that method name. That's how we access the method of a class. Okay, so it's already 1 hour. Tomorrow we'll start with constructor. Okay, so hope everyone understood. After every class I am sharing these examples in Google Drive. Just try to execute them once. Okay, so actually I picked best examples so that you can understand these topics correctly. Try executing them once, don't try anything new. Okay, any queries?
Sidhu, this class